Hey guys, first of all, thank you very much for helping to get Void Destroyer on Steam's green light. Thank you for voting. Very excited about that. Speaking of Steam, if I go into this shift tab guide that Steam has, you can see that Void Destroyer is connected to Steam. It's not technically on Steam yet, but all it takes is a few lines of code for to connect to Steam's API and to get all these features that you guys are going to get if you play the game through Steam. If you notice, it says it takes, I've been in the game for about 10 hours in the past 2 weeks, which is when I got it working 2 weeks ago. What this actually means is when I develop the game, I hop back and forth between my Visual Studio, which is the compiler, the programming tool that I use, and Void Destroyer the game, and so far I've logged in 10 hours, and that's kind of a back and forth, test the feature, go into the game, code a feature, fix a bug, go back and forth. So actually it's been quite a lot more than 10 hours in terms of development time, but in terms of game playing time, it's been 10 hours. So this is probably going to go up into very, very high numbers as the time goes on. Hopefully Void Destroyer will be my all-time most played game in the near future. Alright, so what I want to show you guys is a few things I've done. Actually mostly in tactical mode, because there's been a lot of cool stuff happening in both modes, but in ship mode there's been very cool stuff happening, but it's not quite ready yet, so I want to wait for the big reveal. So I'm going to show you guys mostly stuff in tactical mode, or actually all of it in tactical mode. Starting with this grid. So if you notice, there's this grid on the floor here, quote-unquote floor, and the purpose of this grid is to give the player sort of a frame of reference. Are you below, above? Human beings are kind of two-dimensional, at least I am, so this grid should help some players be more at ease with the game. The other thing I want to talk to you about is I've added this very simple movement line when issuing a move command. It just creates this leg. It's funny because I've wanted to add this for such a long time, and it only took about 10 minutes to add. It's kind of funny because 4 years ago when I added this move command where you right click and you tell the ship to go to a spot, I wanted to add that, but I'm like, oh, I can wait, and now I finally did it. Another thing that I changed is the way that the gravity drive works for ships under crew control. So in tactical mode, if I give an order for this ship to go to this base, before this change, this ship would just use the gravity drive. Now it's not doing that, it's just using its regular engines until I give it this permit gravity drive type of a command here. It's going to speed up and use the gravity drive when it reaches the proper speed. There we go. So what this means is that you have a lot more control over your units. If you want to tell your units to go near an enemy base but not quite into it, you can do that now. Before, if I told a group of my ships to go here, they would actually use the gravity drive to jump to this base and then fly here. And if this was an enemy base, they would actually start fighting the enemy here and then kind of get mired in that. So now you have this option to toggle gravity drive, and your ship is going to follow that command. So it's a small bit, a simple change, and hopefully this will lead to much more interesting tactical options for you guys. So the big thing in the last iteration were formations, but I didn't get a chance to do a bunch of needed polish. For example, what would happen if the leader dies? What should happen is when the leader dies and another leader gets elected, that elected leader should inherit the command of the dead leader, and keep doing what the dead leader was ordered to do. So here I told my leader to go to this base, going to destruct that guy. Here's our new leader, and he's still going to that base. So another necessary change is informations, the use of the gravity drive. So I told my ship here to go all the way over there. I'm going to tell him, hey, yes, you can use the gravity drive. And my followers actually jumped ahead of the leader there. They must have had their fingers on the afterburner button much closer than the lead ship. But the bottom line is that gravity drive is going to be used now with formations. So all the ships are going to pretty much get to where they need to go, rather than sort of stay behind and only the leader using the gravity drive. So I'm going to fix this up so they stick much closer together, and do a bunch of little tweaks, bunch of little improvements to formations, making them hopefully a very, very nice system for you guys to use, to the point where the game is not fighting you, where the game is very easy to do what you tell it to do. And if you notice any places where the game is fighting you, just let me know, and we'll work on that. We'll try to get that fixed. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support.